This is really a combined advanced trauma life support for doctors and advanced trauma course for nurses. So in fact, we have two courses. One primarily for doctors to deal with trauma, and another one for the nursing staff to deal with trauma as well. So there are commonalities within that the course itself, but there are certain elements which then, as we advance, then diverge a little bit, obviously because of the slight professional approaches and differences. The course itself, obviously, is driven by the need to upscale training in trauma management in Zimbabwe by the American College of Surgeons through the Committee on Trauma, and being operated in Zimbabwe under the subsidiarity of the South African Committee on Trauma, hence the presence of our South African colleagues to support us since 2015. The whole aim is to train our health cadres, doctors and nurses, in applying best practices and best principles in the management of trauma, which is a big burden, particularly considering the extent of injuries which arise from road traffic accidents, from mining, from construction, from agriculture, and you name it.
This advanced trauma life support course is really, as was mentioned, designed and facilitated by the American College of Surgeons. And it's one that's designed to help doctors and more recently now nurses as well to manage a severely injured trauma patient in that first hour or two after they arrive at the hospital. And what we know is that if you get that first hour or two wrong, things go poorly. And if you get that first hour or two right, you've got a far higher chance of a patient surviving. And not only surviving, but surviving to get back to good function and to be able to get back to their families and back to work and back to contributing in society. So these are, whilst trauma is only a part of healthcare in general, it's an integral part, because we know that even internationally, and the same is true in Africa and in South Africa and in Zimbabwe, that a lot of the people that suffer trauma are those in their working years, and they're supporting families and they're supporting households, and that loss of income and loss of productivity is a huge thing for them and their families, and is also a big thing for the country. So we know that instituting these courses helps with outcomes from trauma. That's been seen in many countries around the world. There's courses in more than 100 countries around the world now, and we know that it helps, and I think we're starting to see the same here, that it's helping, and the knowledge about trauma management is improving in Zimbabwe, and so it's been a great thing to be involved in.
This is really open to all medical practitioners at all levels of professional age and training, if you like. We generally do a course that takes 20 doctors and 20 nurses, and there's no discrimination as from where they come from. They come from district hospitals, they come from provincial hospitals, they come from tertiary institutions. The quest for knowledge and the need to apply the highest principles in trauma management will not be discriminated in terms of where you are practicing. We actually want to capacitate as many doctors in Zimbabwe as possible, and from where we have come from since 2015, we have so far managed to train more than 240 doctors. Each course on average takes about 20 doctors because of the limitation of the instructors which we have at the moment. But we are hoping that as we get more and more instructors being trained, and they have been trained in South Africa for the time being, and maybe in future, and we are hoping this is going to happen soon, we will be having our own local instructors being trained locally, and we will increase the number. because as we have mentioned, the burden on trauma is just quite significant when it comes to cost in terms of both life and economic burden. It's very, very significant. Now, if you look at the highways, for example, from Beitbridge to, say, Victoria Falls, you've got key hospitals such as Beitbridge Hospital, such as Gwanda Hospital, and then obviously you've got the tertiary hospitals in between, and then you've got Hwange and Victoria Falls. All those highway hospitals, we expect them to be manned by people who have got the highest skills in trauma management, because they are the first responders when it comes to road traffic accident, and they are the first responders to other forms of serious injuries. And therefore, we expect that all our cadres who are working in these stations really are highly and well trained in advanced trauma life management, both as doctors and as nurses.